Hello Steelers, and welcome to another bench report, hobby update. A bit of a packed one this one. It's been pretty busy, to be honest, over the last week or so. You can probably hear that my voice is going a little bit because I spent all of yesterday shouting at a large workshop. I'll talk about that in a bit, shouting above the noise of everybody else playing, so that's why my voice is going a little bit, so do bear with me. This week I've been away for some of the week, so I didn't get a huge amount painted. However, I did make a bit of a start on some things, so I managed to finish off some more Landwehr for the Prussians in 6mm, so this is for Blucher. I did two more Brigades of those, are the 3D printed figures that Paul from the club gave to me, so thanks for that, Paul. I also managed to get two Matildas painted as well, two Matilda Mark 1s. These I picked up last week at Element Games again. I'll talk about more about that in a second. These are from Battlefront, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with them. They were just there for sale, so I thought I'll grab those. They may go towards a BEF force for 1940 at some point in the future, maybe for O Group, but also because I'm looking at this kind of thing at the moment with Chain of Command, so they might work with those as well. But I just thought I'll just grab those anyway and do something with them. Also as well, I painted 4 of the 3D printed Stag Hounds that Richard Hogg had sent over to me. Lovely vehicles. I really like Stag Hounds. They look fantastic. They look pretty futuristic, really, for the 1940s. So they'll be towards a British recce unit, again, possibly for O Group, possibly for Chain of Command, I'm not sure. They'll fit in everywhere and anywhere, so I was happy with those. Dead easy to paint, green, null oil wash, and then a dry brush, and that's pretty much it. A little bit of detailing after that, very simple. I mentioned Element Games because last Sunday, I think I may have mentioned it, I went over to Stockport and met up with James and Jim, lots of Jameses and Jims, for a game of O Group. I was umpiring it, and we played the Scenario 4 out of the Normandy 1944 handbook, the supplement that came out recently, with the Americans attacking. It's the first American attack in the book, and I just wanted to use my Americans on the table, nothing else. And we had Jim and James fighting against James as the Germans. If you can make sense of that, then better man than me. It was a really good game. I think everybody enjoyed it, and it was one of those that went on a knife edge. I'm not going to give you spoilers because I actually filmed the game. And I will be putting it. I've put it together already for a show report, for a game report, and that will be coming out early September. Probably the first video in September that is part of the schedule. So keep an eye out for that. I think the guys really enjoyed it, or at least they said they did anyway to my face. Whether they did or they didn't is a different matter. But yeah, I enjoyed umpiring a game for them. And as I say, whilst I was over at Element Games, I bought myself those Matildas. I also bought myself a set of Japanese 75mm, sorry I should have had these ready, 75mm Type 41 infantry guns, which I will use in Malaya or even the Far East. They were, I'm not sure how much they were, but I thought, we're using Element Games as tables for free, basically, to put some money behind their counter. And I also picked up as well these British machine guns, MMGs and mortars as well, light mortars from Battlefront, and these again, I'm going to be using these in O Group or Chain of Command for Malaya because they're the 8th Army, so they're in shorts and shirts and things, so it works perfectly for that. So I managed to get those as well. Normally I probably wouldn't normally buy much, but I just thought because I'm there and they had a few packs of the Battlefront stuff kicking about, I thought I may as well get something out of there. And then in the post as well, I also got some Peter Pig civilians. So they turned up. They're very quick service, as always with Peter Pig. I just got some of their Second World War civilians, a mix of them, people pushing carts and things like that. Because in the 1940 Blitzkrieg handbook, which I got previously, you'll recall, there are rules for civilians and refugees, so I want to add some of those to the tabletop, dead easy, and even nuns with guns, shabby Nazi tricks. So I got some nuns as well, so they will work really well. Just going to paint those up basically and put them on. bases. They'll work in other things as well, maybe not so much L Group, but they'll certainly work in Chain of Command or some of the other games that I have. I also got as well in the post some Woodland Scenics clump foliage. I've entered it all into here. I've got 3 different types of clump foliage. I do apologise, Tiny's investigating down there. I've got 3 different colours of it. The dark green, light green and mid green. And I've mixed them up in here. They need a bit more of a mix. This is just my tool for saving these things in. The reason I've got these is because I'm just thinking about, I've been thinking about my field systems that I've got, and I've got some cornfields and I've got a couple of plough fields, but I want to kind of update those a little bit, and just been looking at other people's terrain and stuff, and I want to get some, instead of adding hedgerows on individual sticks, I want to actually put the hedges around the woods, around the fields, because a lot of fields have hedges around them, so I just want to add that on to make it into a nice little terrain piece. I've got a little bit of thinking about how I'm going to do it just yet, but I will get there. So it's, I'm just trying to kind of again condense and rationalise some of my some of the terrain things that I have here and there. And also, speaking about terrain, I also got, you'll remember I got the Patrick Miniatures 3D printed buildings for the Soviets. I then went back and I bought a load of his 3D printed Western Europe buildings as well. As these get built, I'll put more pictures on, but these are really, really nice things. I think they're FDM prints rather than resin. They're very nice. There's quite a few in there. Not particularly cheap, but well worth it, I think. And I'll paint those up over time, and you'll see those as they come along. Go and check out Patrick Miniatures. They took a little while to come through, but I think that's more to do with the fact that he prints those himself slowly. Also, as well, I got in the post, I got some PSC Germans, the 1944 German Grenadiers. They're newer pack compared to the older Germans that I've got. And I also got as well, this is from Plastic Soldier Company, the Russian infantry as well, Soviet infantry. Now, the reason I got these 2 sets, you're probably thinking, well, you've got way more than enough 15mm Soviets and Germans at this point, and yes, I have. However, most of them are about 30 years old at this point. They're quite old. Now, when we were playing Element games, I realised that the Germans for Peter Pig don't really fit with the Battlefront, well, with the Plastic Soldier Company Americans I have. And although they're the same scale, there's quite a difference in the figure sizes and things. You can really see it in the pictures. So I just thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and also, you know, my painting has progressed as well in 30 years, I'd like to think at least. So what I want to do is basically just rebuild the U group units, the 2 battalions of the Soviets and the Germans, from the ground up with some fresh figures. And then what I'll do is I'll have a clear out of all my old figures, because I've got loads of stuff that I just don't use. So specifically Germans and Soviets. I've got 2 rifle brigades from for rapid fire, so that tells you how many figures, pretty much, Soviet rifle brigades, tells you how many figures I've got that just don't see the table. And I kind of think, what's the point in having them kicking around if they're not getting on the table? Let's pass them on to somebody else who might want them. So I will put them up for sale at some point in the future. As I say, it depends on how fast I get through these sets, and it could probably take quite a while, to be honest, but we'll get there in the end, I'm fairly sure. One other thing to mention as well, while we were over last Sunday, James Cutts lent me a copy of this, which is Blood and Valour, he says 28mm historical miniatures game set during World War One. I mean, obviously he says 28mm, which is not really my scale, but you could use anything in it really. I was thinking about doing a review of this. I've been reading it. I just wanted to read it really just to see what the state of First World War wargaming is at the moment, and modern takes on it. Now, as you know, as you're probably aware, I've got a bit of a passing interest in the First World War, so I was quite interested in how it is. If you want me to do a review of it, I'm going to say here and now it'll be brutal, but if you want me to, I'm happy to. Again, let me know in the comments, and before I give this back to James, I can do a review. obviously it won't be out immediately, but it will be coming out at some point. That's all I'm going to say about that, to be honest. Okay, I mentioned it in passing earlier on. Lard Workshop, that was the big thing this weekend. That happened yesterday. This was the big event put on at the BritCon, which is the British tournament road games show. It used to be in Manchester. It now moved to Nottingham post-COVID, and Don Avis put on Lard Workshop, which was fantastic, huge. I think there's about 80 people at it. It was massive. There's at least the biggest Lard Games Day I've been to. I don't know what the ones are like down south, but certainly in the north, which really shows how many people are interested in these, and it was completely sold out. You know, there was no spare spaces. Only I think a couple of people had dropped out for various reasons at the last minute, but you know, people snapped up tickets. So it just shows how popular these things are. I did mention last week that I was going to probably just drop in a couple of interviews into this video. After getting there and filming and ending up with about 20 minutes worth of actual material, which is way more surprising than I thought I would, I'm just going to make a show report. So that's going to come out later on in the week. I got a couple of interviews. I did one with Don Avis, who set it up, and also one with Rich Clark, obviously, Two Fat Lardies. So thanks to both of those guys. Their interviews will be in the proper show report. I thought I don't want to do it and just get it lost in the generic hobby updates. I wanted to give it a special place itself, really, within the rest of my videos, because I know people like show reports anyway, so they're always very popular videos. So look out for that. It's going to be this week. I'm not sure when, possibly Monday, possibly Tuesday, because I'm going to be away from Wednesday, but I'll just see how quickly I can get it edited. And speaking of this, I took Algernon Pulls It Off because it's a dead easy game to transport. It's literally a small box of some tiny figures and a sheet, and that's pretty much it. So I was cheating a little bit, but I did take it along. In the morning we had a game with Brendan, Ian and Simon. They played in the morning, and then in the afternoon we had Mick, James and David. That's two different Jameses. In both of them, it was bloody April in both of them. Unfortunately, the RFC got their arses handed to them quite viciously. In the first one in the morning, the Germans stayed way above the FE2Bs that were trundling about at level 6, and they just basically dealt with the 3 Sopwith triplanes up at level 12 and shot them about quite badly. However, in the second one, the Red Baron was killed almost instantly under James's tutelage. He got shot through the head and was downed almost immediately von Richthofen. That was quite a shock. But then the Germans clawed it back and they shot down. I think they shot down all the FE2Bs and badly mauled the triplanes as well. So Bloody April played out as Bloody April actually did historically. So it was great, and everybody said they enjoyed it. Whether they were just saying that because I was there or not, but they all seemed to like it. And the good thing about Algae is it's a very cheap intro to a game. I mean, the cloth mat is relatively expensive. You'd probably pay about 60-70 quid for that, including postage. But that's your biggest outlay. If you can get some STLs for 3D prints, or even just a few planes from people like Skytrex, or pick up some of the old Wings of War models and things, you can probably get into it pretty cheaply. So it's a great game, good fun, and they all, as I say, they said to me at least they enjoyed it. So there is going to be a video report of the Games Day coming at some point, hopefully in the next couple of days. Keep your eyes on that. And I am also going to be, like I said, I'm going to be away again this week from Wednesday through to Friday up at Otterburn for the rest of the excavations on the Iron Age Romano-British building, we think, or structure that we think we have. It's been absolutely boiling, but everybody's really been enjoying it. A good group of veterans up there, a great group of volunteers from Revitalising Reesdale, and it's just been real good fun. Being up there, really. Just hopefully the weather is going to abate a little bit next week, and this heat wave will have passed, because there's no shelter apart from the marquee that we have well, a small, it's not even a marquee, it's a small gazebo, and you know, it's drinking lots of water and just trying to stay out of the sun can be quite difficult. Alright, I will wrap up there simply because later on today, this afternoon, Sunday, I'm going to be going down to the club because we've got a club game on a Sunday afternoon, so we can play a big game. I believe there is going to be a big O group game. I am not taking any figures whatsoever. I'll take some of my tokens down, but I'm not going to supply anything this time. Let somebody else do it for once, and hopefully that will be good fun. So I'll take some photos of that as we go and see where we're at. Alright, so I will sign off there. I think just to remind you to check out the Facebook page and the group for Stone and Steel. If you go and join it, I will let you in as soon as I see your request to join the group. And stay tuned for other bits and pieces in a week and see where we are with more hobby updates and bench reports. And once again, thank you very much for watching.